Oh, hi everyone. Just waiting for Jana to get in here. We'll invite her in the mix. Hi, Brandy. How are you doing today? Hi. Hope you're doing well in Texas. I saw that y'all are in like red zone again. This is a little sketchy. And breathing can be good, just as long as it's in a mask or like in close quarters. I'm doing okay. There's Jana. Okay, let's get her in the video.
How does it work? Is that
There,
working?
it's working.
Whoa! Hey, how's my audio?
I think it's good.
Yay! I've never done this before. I was with other people.
Yeah. So you're my 11th time on this. You have Taumeister says hi, Jana.
I
Oh, they changed the format. This is all different now. Oh, Brandy is very like hi, Jana. Brandy's very excited to see you there. And then we get hi, Barb. What's up in Saskatchewan?
get you. Is that?
Yeah. Well, that's how we say it sometimes in Canada. How are things in Seattle?
It's very Seattle, so it's gray, it's overcast, it's a little bit foggy. But this is actually usually my favorite.
Sorry, it's your favorite time of the year? Oh, your audio broke up a little bit there.
Oh, uh, that.
Oh,
No, I wonder if I.
oh, your audio went completely away there. Oh,
What's happening? That. No.
huh? Okay, I can see again. Back.
Let me. I don't think I have anything that's really sucking bandwidth. How's that?
That works. I think it'll work.
Yeah, this one has more bars.
Oh, okay.
There are delay.
There's a tiny bit of a delay, but this is the joy of the lives. It's sort of like a little bit different every time. You never really know what's going to happen in them.
Weird. Yeah, like I do like Zoom calls and things all the time, but not Facebook live. Live.
Not not the Instagram lives.
It seems like right.
Yeah, it's been kind of like hit or miss with them, but for the most part, it's been like working pretty well. I've had like some people being like, "You should do a podcast," and I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of commitment yet.
Podcasts are cool. That's actually how I got connected to a lot of
You had connected to a lot of people through the podcasts?
yeah. So back in the day, and let me know if the time delay is really obnoxious.
No, the time delay is fine, yeah. What's up, JP?
Hey, yeah, back in the day, there was well, Nate Mathis over in Portland started up years, and through PD Exposure, which was a YouTube, it was a podcast spawned. Oh, I think, but spawned a series of different podcasts sort of out of PD Exposure, and I
Okay.
host with different people, and that kind of helped more people. So that,
Okay, so So your audio broke up a little bit there, but you were working through some of the PD exposures, and then that got you into like more of the different film communities.
Yeah, yeah. So we started up the podcast, part, and then from there, we were like 4 or 5 people like across the U.S. One of us through various networks. All
Okay. Hey, wait, just let me try switching.
also audio. Say Jana sucks.
Okay, I switched. Maybe it was mine. Like maybe my Wi-Fi was like weird, or Instagram changed the live. It's all different now than last week. So
Look like,
what's that?
look like.
Well, the chat used to like just go over the text, and now they have like the video in like these bubbles, and you have to bring like the chat up into it. That's all different. So,
Yeah, I was. And how do you like wave at people?
you tap on like there's like a little wavy icon, so you can like just when you see someone's name there, you can wave at them, and um, yeah, it's been kind of like cool so far to use the live platform. And then like yeah, people can heart like Kat sending lots of hearts there. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. And what's up, Julianne and Amy? We got some more Toronto peeps up in here. But yeah, it's been cool to just like chat with people on here, and then when people are like watching us, they can ask questions in the chat window, and it's like interactive and shit. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this thing off of. I don't know what just happened. I like somehow.
Oh, you can do like different backgrounds and shit. That was weird.
Are they trying to compete with Zoom? Is that what's happening?
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I can't see me because the keyboard somehow popped up. But
Sweet. Yeah, if anyone here likes cool screen printed goods, give Foot to Face a follow. Julianne makes some like really dope screen prints. I got this really cool um, shirt that she made a while back, which I imagine might be what she's screen printing in, but it's like a guillotine.
Brad.
Yeah, and she ships all over the land. So if you too want a guillotine shirt, follow Foot to Face and check out their website. Shameless plug for a homie. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Located?
She's located in Toronto.
Hi.
Yeah. Oh shit, she's making fresh guillotines. So anyone that wants to cop a guillotine shirt, hit her up.
Oh, wow.
So I know that Wootography here was really stoked for this chat with you because I think they had a bunch of pinhole questions.
Oh,
So I'm gonna throw them on the hot seat to type out some pinhole questions here to you.
sure. What audio?
Your audio does keep coming in and out. I'm not sure what's because it's like clear for a minute. Your video is always good, but your audio kind of comes in and out. Or maybe it's me.
I wonder if I switch to like my AirPods to improve audio.
That might help.
We'll find them. Where did I put those
All
things?
right. It'll give Chris a chance to type out his questions. Is my audio jumpy as well, or is it just Jana's audio that's jumpy?
Yeah. For everyone who's
Okay. Is that connected?
Yeah, it was working.
So it's just my audio that sucks.
I think it's good now, though.
Is it better?
Yes. Well, maybe. Here, say a stream of things and let's see how it works.
I am saying a string of things.
I think it's good. We're good. What's up, Coffee Dan?
Oh,
We can't wait.
hey, thanks for the thumbs up. That's funny how that, I don't know. I don't understand technology, but that's okay. So audio definitely more consistent. Thanks, Brandy.
Audio is 110%. I don't
Oh,
understand technology, and I'm a technologist for Dell, so,
I know. I work in technology, but I have no idea how this thing works.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do startups. Oh, Chris asked a question. Nothing
Yeah.
fancy question wise, but curious what your pinhole setup is. Are you shooting medium or 35?
Oh, so I almost always shoot medium format. I think just the resolution, the film size is so much better. You just get so much more, um, the image quality is so much smoother in medium format than 35 millimeter. And I haven't yet found a 35 millimeter camera that did not make me frustrated because
Really?
you're constantly having to wind it, and there's not like a frame counter per se on a 35 millimeter pinhole camera. And so you have to sort of wind it and create your own system for how you're counting your frames. Oh, speaking of, here's Moni, who also knows something about pinhole. Um, but as you're winding 35 millimeter, I found that maybe halfway through the roll would just get so tight and stuck that I couldn't even advance it. And then I would want to throw it against the wall.
So Chris asks here, do you
Mhm.
have a dedicated camera for pinhole?
Um, I have a couple of cameras that were actually 3D printed by a local uh, 3D printer, and just an overall sort of geek who just sort of geeks out, named Todd Schlemmer. And so he took all these pinhole cameras and designed it. So he has like a CAD program. He designs the cameras. He prints it out at home in his own sort of laboratory.
Okay,
And then I get the joy of sort of testing it out and occasionally dunking it in the Pacific Ocean.
that's fair. Now,
Yeah.
there's all these new features to Instagram Live. This is crazy. So you're the first episode of these new features, and JP
Okay.
just asked a question, which we could share with the thing, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah, did it show up out there? Can
Yeah.
people see it?
The
Yeah.
Goodman Skura. I'm not familiar with that. Let me see if I can.
Oh, that's the 3D printed one, right, JP?
Is that the 3D printed one?
Yeah, yeah. It's that woman. She's been designing all the cameras and shit. And
Oh, let me
yeah,
see.
the Goodman one, they look really cool.
So Dora Goodman, is that Dora
Yeah, yeah.
Goodman?
It's Dora Goodman.
Oh, okay. I like the sort of leather texture that they've emulated in the
Yeah, her cameras look really beautiful.
yeah. And it looks like she's got some medium format, some that look kind of like a Holga, and one that looks almost like let's see.
Well, I
I
think
feel
to
like
answer your question there, JP, because
wow.
Jan is discovering the Goodman stuff online here, we're going to say she hasn't played with it yet.
Yeah, I have not. To be
Oh
honest,
shit,
I oh
he's got
whoa.
one printed.
Whoa, yeah, DM me. That this looks pretty darn cool. There's a couple of 6x6, 6x6 or 6x9 tend to be sort of my favorite formats for pinhole. Yeah.
Yeah, these look pretty
I have
cool.
not seen this. Wow, these are gorgeous.
I like this not a bottle gimbal.
I was seeing that. I was seeing that. That's great. And you just sort of like have your bottle sort of you just sort of pivot it around.
Oh, that Skura looks really cool. Oh, and they make a
Wow.
35 millimeter one too.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
So maybe in their design, they've maybe solved the problem that I kept experiencing with different 35 millimeter cameras. And I know Moni, I see you in here. So I know you've been shooting other 35 millimeter pinhole. So maybe you have something you can share too in the chat uh, with 35. I found it kind of frustrating for myself. But yeah, no, I've never heard of this. So thanks for sharing. This is cool.
Jab photos. So I think she's looking on her computer.
Mhm.
But if you wanted to check it out, it's doragoodman.com. And you can see all the different cameras they sell in the store there. But you can also, they do have open source stuff. So if you have a 3D printer, I believe you can download the designs to make your own cameras.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, yes. So Moni here, Crafty Moni. Hi, Monica. Um, has a Nopo 35 millimeter. So Nopo was, oh, I forgot what his name was. But he was a craftsman in Barcelona that I think we all got to meet when we were out in Barcelona. And so he made these beautifully handcrafted wooden 35 millimeter and different format size pinhole cameras.
Wow, when were you in Barcelona? Were you there for like a photography thing or?
Yeah, yeah. So as kind of like maybe not a result, but maybe sort of as a product of the Pinhole podcast we were on. Hi, Moni. Um, but as a result of that, sort of what we decided to do was just meet up in person. And so it was maybe I don't know time anymore. It was like maybe 5 years ago that a group of people decided to meet for the first year in Amsterdam. And this was sort of like a smaller crew that met up in Amsterdam. I didn't make it that year. The second year, we decided to have everyone, I believe, here in the US and specifically in the Pacific Northwest. So people actually flew over and came to the United States in Seattle, and then we went down to Portland because down in Portland you have Blue Moon Camera, and in Blue Moon Camera you have Zeb Andrews, and then with Zeb Andrews comes just this sort of huge group of pinhole and pinhole enthusiasts and pinhole camera creators and artists, and it's a whole community.
I'm sorry, that like pinhole pin, it reminded me of like King of the Hill where it's like propane and propane accessories.
Propane.
Probably what about these pinhole cameras?
I always just wanted to be the guy just sitting out there with a cigarette that sort of like spoke, but you didn't quite know what he was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, Dale Gerber. Yeah, oh yeah, Boomhauer. Yeah, fucking.
Boomhauer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how. So how many pinhole trips have you guys done? So it's like you did you know, that sounds like
So
kind of like Policon for pinholes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's so I mean the thing is there's people who sort of like overlap on all these, right? So I'm one of those. I kind of overlap between pinhole and lensless and and Polaroids and all of these things.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it was, let's see, Amsterdam, and Moni, correct me if I'm wrong here. So there was Amsterdam, and then there was the Northwest. And then after that, we went to Barcelona. And then we went to San Francisco. And then after San Francisco, so this is every year, specifically on Pinhole, there's Worldwide Pinhole Photography Day, which is usually the
Okay.
last Sunday of April. So let's see, after San Francisco, then we went to, was it after San Francisco that we went to Norwich in the UK? And then after Norwich was Boston. And then this year in April, we were supposed to go to Dublin, but something else decided we weren't.
Uh, man.
So, yeah, yeah. Are there
That's
others? So, are there other sort of like conventions that you go to, Merlin? As I know you've gone to PoloCon. I know we met there, but
yeah.
are there other sort of like? Do you go to like Photo Fest or?
So I did go to the Film Padea, the Darkroom Lab Film Padea in San Clemente.
Okay.
And that was really fucking cool. The Darkroom Lab is they're neat. Like they run quite the operation there. So we got a tour of the Darkroom Lab, which
Cool.
they run three dip dunk machines, one dedicated for E6, one dedicated for black and white, and one dedicated for C41.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they have like a whole fleet of like auto processors for C41 and like,
Yeah.
it was a cool operation. And they had a ton of really great speakers. That's where I met Megan Schutz's film, did a presentation there on her work with the Mykonos and like the unholy things she does,
Mm,
which is kind of amazing.
yeah.
Um, I'm gonna have her on in November to talk about like some of the work that she does. So looking forward to that.
Is it
Uh,
specifically with a Mykonos?
yeah, she shoots mostly with Mykonos, like
Okay.
underwater, like ocean stuff, and like her photography is like it's gorgeous. She's been showcased by Kodak, I believe, a couple times.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so she was speaking about her work, and Grant Britton was there, which that was like a really cool, crazy thing to just like to meet Grant Britton, like being like one of the oldest skateboard photographers in the world.
Wow.
Um, and just hearing him talk about like what he's been working on, and like the film photography project guys were there, um,
Mm.
and yeah, the Rasso,
Yeah,
Mike,
Michael
Mike
Rasso, right?
Michael Rasso was there, and he
Yeah.
was quite the character. It was really cool to meet him.
I believe it.
Um, like it was cool, like the whole film photography gang, like they were doing some large format stuff out there, so that was a really cool one. And then I've done like a couple workshops. Like what actually kicked like all of this off for me was a workshop with Jason Lee at the Leica store in Boston. Um,
Mm.
that was where I met Armin, and then Armin and I became like mega homies,
Uh-huh.
and then the rest is kind of history from there. So that was what I gotta kind of thank, Alan Barrington at the Leica store in Boston for putting it on, and Jason Lee for having the workshop, because like none of this would have happened if I hadn't gone to Boston 3 years ago.
Right.
Um, so that's been kind of wild. And then I did a tour of the Kodak factory last December,
Oh,
which,
I've been wanting to go. I mean, they have all the, I think, did I see that the Eastman Museum just did an upgrade?
yeah, so they were starting that upgrade the last time I was in Rochester,
Hmm.
um, in December last year. Like they were like well into the works of like doing all that work. What's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian.
Also, if you guys need a wicked awesome lab that you want to send stuff to, Underdog Film Lab in Oakland, California, you hit
Yes.
those guys up. Underdog Brian, Jesse, they'll take care of you guys. And if you're in the Bay Area and you need film, they have a fully stocked film fridge with all the goodies. They got more film than Polaroid.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just teasing, but they do have a ton of Polaroid film. So,
Okay.
if you're in the Bay Area and you need the film plug, you got to hit them up, Underdog Film Lab. And they also do mail-in for American people if you want to mail in your
I
stuff
know a lot
to
of
have.
Bay Area photogs were like, were just saying like the service seemed to be really good, the turnaround seemed to be pretty good, and it just started up, right?
Yeah, they've been
Underdog.
around for a bit.
Okay.
Like, Brian's been running it. It's a continuation of a lab that used to exist there. That all these people used to work for a lab, and the dude retired, and they took it over because they wanted to keep the dream alive. So, it's a lot of like really passionate people, and they'll take
Yeah.
care of them real good. It's and Brian's also a dope guy. I really like Brian and Jesse. It was too bad you couldn't make it down for Polacon Bay Area. Um, but I mean that was like right at like the
No, that's I was so excited when I saw that getting like I saw it getting teased and I was like yes because I've gotten to really love the Bay Area and like have some like solid friends out there and I was like oh I'm gonna come out. I bought tickets. I got like my Airbnbs all booked up and then everything started hitting specifically here in Seattle. And so we were declared like the coronavirus capital of the United States and things were just escalating and going, just skyrocketing. And I was mostly concerned about if I leave, will I be able to come back?
Oh yeah. Well,
Um, so I decided not to go, and I'm still. I think I should have just said fuck it and just gone.
A bunch of
Good.
us were talking about that when we were there. We're like, was this wicked irresponsible that we did this? Like, holy shit. Um, but a bunch of us were like, this is literally probably the last trip we'll ever take
Yeah.
this year. And it kind of
Yeah.
has been for most of us.
Hmm.
It was neat. We took because we did a photo walk in Oakland on Sunday,
Hey, Kyle.
and um, the and JP, we do not get free Devon scan as part of free healthcare in Canada. You know, I wish that was part of like the socialist movement here, but not quite. Maybe one day. But we were taking the ferry over to Oakland for the photo
Hmm.
walk, and we cruised right past the plague vessel. Like, remember that cruise ship that was like
Oh,
docked for so
like a
long?
big nurse ship, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was like a
Yes.
huge cruise ship that was just like it was like the COVID cruiser. Um, we went past that. It was just like, yo, that's the fucking COVID cruise ship. Like, it was weird. And then like we were doing the photo walk in Oakland, and I think Brian got the call from the people that were running like taco stand that we were like making our way to, and I
Hmm.
guess like
Hmm.
the governor or something said that like they were shutting bars down at like 5 o'clock, and like 'cause everything was like so the people at the taco stand like called Brian up and were like, yo, like you got to get here by like 5 or you're donezo. And so we're like,
Oh,
everyone wrap up the fucking photo walk. We got to get tacos and beer.
yeah.
So it's like we beelined it
Oh.
to the taco
So
joint.
literally everything was shutting down.
Yeah,
Right.
well, that was the thing that was weird. So, like, I got into San Francisco like Wednesday night and chilled at a friend's place, and he was like, "Sorry to be a total weirdo, man, but like, you can totally stay at my house, but like, you're in the basement, you have your own bathroom, we can like hang out, but we gotta like wear masks." He's like, "This thing, I don't know if I'm like blowing it out of proportion, but it seems a little weird." I'm like, "No, it's totally cool, man. It's like totally fine." He's like, "Hand sanitize everything." I'm like, "Cool, cool." And then like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, as like the weekend progressed through San Francisco, like the city started like closing up more and more. And it was
Yeah.
really weird to like see a city that I was used to seeing way more vibrant whenever I was visiting there,
Hmm.
um, be like so dead. Like it was weird seeing like less car traffic and less pedestrian traffic and like no lineups to get into places. I was like, what the fuck is going
That's when
on?
you take advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of wild. So, yeah, we literally were like watching like this like sort of apocalypse type moment as like the fucking city started closing up, and those apocalypse tacos taste delicious.
Were they puffy?
Uh there were some puffy tacos in there. Um yeah, it was kind of wild like that trip. I'm glad that we took it.
Yeah.
And like I'm grateful for the community that we're part of. Like it's been really awesome to be part of like the Polaroid community and like our film community in general. Like it's been
Hmm.
an interesting thing to experience. Like what has it been like for you, like being part of like the film photographic community?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm a little jealous of some people who've sort of taken advantage of this time and like kind of ramped up their productivity. Like I've
That's
seen some people right now who are like, oh, like they're just like there's, they're really like absorbed in like creating projects for themselves. Because I went completely the other direction. Um, where I don't know, for about a couple of months, I think I just wasn't shooting anything, just at
oh,
all.
you not feeling it at all, or
Yeah, yeah, I don't really know what it was. I think it's because well, I was shooting a lot of Lomochrome purple because of the cherry blossom seasons. So I was playing on, yeah, I remember Brandy and I were chatting about that on like Instagram a lot, being like, I haven't picked up a camera. Am I a photographer? Because I didn't pick up a camera. I wasn't going outside. Um, so much of kind of what I was playing around with or wanted to play around with was going to be sort of Sinistel with people running around at the Pike Place Market at night.
mm.
And none of that was happening.
Yeah,
And
because
then I was
everything was
working,
dead.
yeah, everything was dead.
Yeah,
Um,
Brandy says same, and Al my sister says the depression took me
Brandy and I've
over
had a couple
too,
of chats
and
where we sort of
Julianne
share.
also said same. I'm glad that your motivation kicked back in, Julianne. Like it's been,
That's awesome.
yeah, it. I've been talking to a ton of people, and like similar to you, like they had these ideas for projects that required people to be around, and there really isn't people around.
No, no.
And
And then for me, I suddenly went from working right downtown, about 2 blocks from Pike Place Market, to working from home. So I no longer even had just like proximity to, a noisy, busy area like the market. Like I was suddenly stuck in my little peninsula of West Seattle. Um, and then the
And
West
then the
Seattle Bridge broke down. And then I
what?
became, yeah,
The
that
bridge
basically,
broke down?
yeah, our bridge got disconnected. So basically, the same day that the governor here made his like stay home, stay safe decree was also the same day that our bridge was no longer accessible for this entire community.
What happened to
So
the bridge?
there were fractures, like all these fractures that just started sort of like webbing out faster than anticipated to the point where it became unsafe. And why our
Because
government didn't realize this, and give us a little bit further heads up.
no, but here's the thing though, the government knows all about that. Like there's huge reports all over the place about the aging infrastructure all over the United States and how
Mm-hmm.
like basically every bridge structure across America is like ready to fucking die at like any given moment. Like, you breathe on it wrong and like the bridge is done and they're like, eh, it'll do. Just like throw a fucking Band-Aid on that shit or something. Like, you
Right.
know, because America, and then like you're double hosed because you've got like a fucking imp in office right now that is just who cares about infrastructure with that guy? He doesn't because it
No,
doesn't make him popular.
no.
What is this bridge business? Is it gonna make me cool? Fuck bridges. I don't know.
Bridges, build the wall.
Exactly. Well, I don't need a bridge because you could go over a wall with a bridge. It's all about the wall.
Hmm. Yep.
Fuck that guy. I mean,
Ah,
Imp is generous. He's
I
fuck.
gotta agree. Imp is
I don't
very
even like.
generous.
I don't know what word would be truly appropriate for like the awfulness of that fucking thing. 'Cause I can't. I won't even call him a human. Like,
No,
not a
no,
human.
please don't. No. Um, our ballots were shipped out supposedly yesterday, and
But
so
you
at
gotta be
least
careful because they're gonna end up in a river somewhere.
I know. So there's supposed to be like all these like fake ballot boxes that are being set up, and, and I saw somewhere some news that they're actually having to hire staffing to monitor the ballot drop boxes so that people don't fuck with them.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, like they have to actually staff the ballot drop boxes. So, we're just right now waiting. I haven't gotten my ballot yet. I don't know if anyone else in King County has gotten theirs yet. I know a couple of people. It just
Oh,
got
King
mailed yesterday.
County. I miss all of the King County ads when I was in Vancouver on because you get on TV.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry
Every
to
once in a while, I turn on CBC. You
just for your
know,
daily dose of socialism.
yeah. Like, ah, that must be nice. Oh, Tao, you got yours? Oh,
So
awesome.
they're fucking with your ballot boxes.
Mm-hmm. Like we're actually having to get like guards to watch our ballot boxers, and Washington State has had uh, mail-in ballots for a long time, um, and now it's even free, so you don't even have to put a damn stamp on the thing. They're making it as easy as possible for all of us right now to be able to participate in it. But unlike ever, any other experience before, we now have to be cautious of where we go, of where we're dropping our ballots, making sure that nobody's tampering with the ballot drop boxes. It's fucked up.
Thank you, Brian. I'll keep the series going as long as people keep wanting to spend an hour with me and people keep tuning in. Man, I'm so sad that like, this fucking goon in his like idiot army is ruining everything for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, though someone mentioned Proud Boys in here, and like, goddamn, like I can't believe that's actually like a fucking thing that y'all have to contend with. Like,
Yep. Yep.
uh,
They're they're not as visible, I'd say, in Seattle area. I think they're much more visible in Portland. Um,
yeah,
we
I could,
have them here, but they're going to be more sort of on the in like other areas. I've been hearing that they are around, so I track scanners almost constantly at this point. I don't hear instances of Proud Boys in the Seattle metropolitan area, but they are certainly present sort of outskirts in like different like
but
Bainbridge, Bremerton areas
like
like that.
scanners or like what kind of scanners?
Police scanners, fire scanners.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't run into someone that has fucked with scanners in a long time.
Like I was gonna get like a CB radio or something, and I was like, yeah, you know what? There's apps now, so I can
Really?
just like tune in.
Oh, so you do
Um,
all, so you don't have like a physical scanner, like you just,
no, no, I'm not as geeky cool as that. I've
uh,
thought about it, but yeah, you
you
know.
gotta get into ham radios and then you can like talk to people all around
hmm
the world. It'll be a really handy thing when the world finally does end.
Well, so there's a group of us right now that are making up our oh shit plans. Like, if things really go as bad,
Okay,
hopefully
tell
it
me
won't.
what's your oh shit plan so far?
I don't know. I'm still trying to like make it up because part of me still needs to. No, Merlin, I'm just gonna come up and visit you. That's cool, right?
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't have an oh shit plan either because like if the shit really did hit the fan, I'll be
Because we're
like,
all gonna flood up. We're all gonna be coming up there, right?
my oh shit plan is to drink all of the booze I have and consume all the drugs I have and like cross my fingers and hope for the fucking best and see what happens. Like either it'll kill me dead and I won't have to deal with whatever happens, or it'll put me in a coma and I'll wake up in a better world. I don't know.
I feel like there was a Walking Dead episode just like that.
Brian's like,
Thank
we're
you.
all coming to
See,
Merlin's house.
exactly, Brian.
Ugh.
We're all just going up there. That's what's happening. Is we're just saying fuck this, and we're just crossing the border. You
I
know,
mean, I do
we're
have
going
a
to
comfortable
Saskatchewan.
futon. I don't know if it's good for like dozens of people though. Party.
Everyone heard it here first. We're all just inviting ourselves to
Yeah,
Merlin.
exactly. When the world ends, just come to Toronto. We'll figure shit out.
It'll be a lot better than here,
That's fucking that's interesting though. I don't know what my oh shit plan is.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, part of my like inability to formulate an oh shit plan is just trying to like not recognize that I actually need one. Like I probably need to, and I probably should. But there's a part of me that's like, it's not gonna get that bad, right? Right?
Well, I mean, it it could.
Yeah, it could.
And I think that's the reality that like a lot of us have to. Yeah, start. Well, see, that's the thing. I had a friend saying that like she had the weirdest time at the supermarket the other day because she went there and teepee was sold out, bottles of
Again?
wine. Yeah. And we're not even in a lockdown right now in Toronto, so
Oh
no
wow.
lockdown. But TP was sold out. Bottles of wine under $13 sold out. All baking supplies. Yeah, all baking supplies
All your
sold out.
$2 chucks are just gone.
Yeah. So it's like, there's a bunch of there's a bunch of cheap drunks with a hoard of TP and all of the baking supplies somewhere in downtown Toronto right now.
Yep.
Um, but it's weird because like there's no lockdown announced
hmm
right now, but people I think are getting a little paranoid and nervous, so they're starting to like stock up on shit because like, you know, we're in a soft lockdown right now. So
What does that mean?
they haven't closed everything down yet, but there's no
Okay.
like indoor dining. They've shut bars
Oh.
down, you know,
Oh.
like things like that where there's more direct contact, they've shut those down, but like takeout is still available and like,
Okay.
things like that. So it's not a complete shutdown because they just got everything going again, and I guess the last thing
Yeah.
wants is like to hurt the economy because God forbid an imaginary thing gets ruined. Um, yeah, when people's lives are at risk.
Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I feel like we've really veered off photography.
Right now. It's
So,
just real talk. Where I
yeah,
mean,
it's real talk.
so like one of the first things I thought about was like, okay, here's my oh shit plan, right? Shit hits the fan. We're in like crazy fucking like America, and I need to get the fuck out. My first thought was, damn, I really got to stock up, not on TP, on film,
Yeah,
right? I'm like, I won't have a mailing address for like Glass Key to ship me my Polaroid anymore. I should start like bulking up and like buying like, like 20 packs at a time or something now. Because I mean, if I can't like ship things or get, develop or like be in like a space where I can develop, then I'm going to want to shoot instant. And if I'm going to want to shoot instant, then I'm going to need like a shit ton of instant to keep me sane.
so I was thinking the same thing because someone asked me, it's like, okay, Apocalypse, what camera? And I was like, SLR 680 and SX70.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
And just a shit ton of Polaroid because don't have to worry about deving or anything
Exactly.
like that. The batteries
Yep.
are in the thing. So it's just like, because I was like, okay, I want the 4x5 or I want like this. But then I was like, but what if I run out of chems? Like, what if, like, it would just, when I'm out of the things to shoot film with instant, I'll be okay with that.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it would suck if like you brought like a bunch of 4x5 sheets and then you ran out of chems and you couldn't like dev the sheets, but you have like
Yeah.
all this stuff for like, you
Yeah.
know,
Or
and
else you have to like dev with like shitty ass like, American polluted water.
yeah, or get creative. It's like I figured out how to develop photos with my own feces and urine and like, squirrel milk. And it's really difficult to milk those little bastards.
You know, what else are you gonna do
Yeah,
next time?
exactly. What is it?
Oh, see,
Yeah,
we're
so
still on
Kat
topic.
says they won't lock us down because our premier is a right winger, and Brandy says you've gone red in Texas, but
No.
they're scheduled to open bars again next week, which sounds a little ridiculous.
Hmm.
Um, and Photography says, Polaroids to document the madness, and 100%. Like I think apocalypse wise, instant film cameras, like
Yep.
Instax, whatever.
Yep.
I would just personally would prefer to have my SLR 680 and SX70 because I just love how those
Mm-hmm.
turn out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
Like,
kind of be testing it soon because with Kat, who's on the thing here, I'm gonna be driving with her across Canada soon during a pandemic, which seems like a fantastic idea.
love it.
Um, but she's moving, and I'm gonna help her, but I was thinking like, what camera should I bring on this adventure? And I
Mm-hmm.
am going to bring some 35 millimeter, but I'm going to bring a shit ton of Polaroid because I have all this like fucking Polaroid sitting in my fridges that
I
I've been
know.
hoarding. I
I
have
keep
so much.
seeing your film fridge.
I know. I have so much, and so I'm just going to bring a ton of it and just shoot
Yeah.
Polaroid, pandemic Polaroids.
Pandemic Polaroid.
Yeah,
I
what's
love
up,
it.
little mementos? I love your duochromes that you've been posting lately. They've been beautiful.
Oh, the black and yellow.
Yeah, have you played with a duochrome yet?
I shot one, but it was overexposed, so I need to sort of tweak with it a little bit. But I like it. I had the old like Impossible, the
Okay.
Third Man Records, yellow and black, and I loved that.
I've never played with that one. So this is the first time I've had a chance to play with the duochrome yellow, but I have a ton of the old pink and blue, and I fucking love the pink and blue. I never got to play with the red. I
Okay,
really
yeah,
wanted to play with the red. I hope they bring
yeah.
that one back. Like it would be cool if they started doing like a cycle of the duochromes
Hmm.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one left of the pink and black,
Ooh. The
and
pink
that
and black
was,
is my favorite.
yeah, that was gorgeous. I have
Yeah.
one left, and I'm just kind of, please.
I think the pink and black one I have too is impossible. So I'm really like, "Grrr." I hope it works. Um, where is it here? My friend, okay, so I scan my Polaroids with
Hmm.
well, here, I can just show you. It's not the fanciest scanner in the world. But I use this guy. It is an HP
Mhm.
multifunction laser printer. And yeah, I still have some like Instax. This is actually the Instax is from the post I did for this call. So that's the
Oh, those are cool. Yeah.
I scan there. And yeah, sometimes I get Newton rings and shit, but like whatever. I'm not
Yeah.
selling them for anything. It's just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I just use a scanner. Any scanner is probably a good scanner. It's better than trying to shoot them with your phone. Um, yeah, and what was the other thing someone said here? I don't, so we might be stopping in Saskatchewan, but it'll probably be Regina. I don't think we'll be making our way up to Saskatoon because Saskatoon's a little far up there. Um, and Little Mementos, I agree. I really wish they'd do more colors. Um, I think they will. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, when I was
And is
talking to,
there a specific color that you would want? The red?
I really want red. I would love it if they brought red back because it's the one that I've wanted to play with a ton. And pink. I would like if they bring pink back because like that was just my favorite one to shoot. I love the effects of pink.
Yeah.
And I wish they would just do more black border stuff. I love the
Yes.
black borders.
Yes.
Like, um, I've been buying the I-type and reloading it
Hmm.
into the 600 cartridges so that I can shoot it.
Was it
I never played
you
with.
who was telling me about that?
Yeah, I think so on the last call.
Yeah. Okay. Because somebody shared that someone's creating essentially a battery pack for like SX70s or the SLR 670, something like that.
Well,
And
someone
that's going to
has.
allow me to shoot I-type in my camera because
See,
I-type cameras suck.
the thing that I don't like about it is for that battery pack, they
Yeah.
you have to put holes in the bottom here because it connects on the bottom,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
don't want to make my camera look fucking ugly with holes on it. So I don't mind doing the dark bag thing because like
Hmm.
it really only takes like a few minutes once you get used to it. Um, and it's pretty straightforward. Like the only thing that Brandy, it works really well, honestly. The one thing that I always remember is when you're in the dark bag,
Hmm.
feel for the two springs on the side here, and you
Okay.
kind of just put them down with your fingers, and
Okay.
so you get it down for the first one, and then you grab your first frame. Once you've got it pushed down there, you can kind of get it um, inside. And like once you get the first one in, it's a lot easier because you get the first one in there,
Right.
kind of tuck that guy in, and then sometimes up top here, it's a little funny to get in, so you kind of just like wiggle this top
Hmm.
bit as you're pushing on the bottom. You don't want to put too much pressure on it though, because you don't want to burst the pod. So you have to be like really
Right.
ginger. But then once you get the first one in, you can make sure it's like firmed up against the top here, and then you kind of just push on the front of it there to get the next ones in.
Okay.
And it starts to get a little tight around the sixth one.
I was gonna
Um,
ask. Okay.
but I would practice a few times out of a dark bag with just getting an empty cartridge and just taking some frames that you've shot and
Hmm.
just like getting used to the flow of putting them in there
Okay.
before you do it in a dark bag. And then one thing, and this is like the biggest thing because the only time it's fucked up for me is when you put the dark slide in, there's this
Hmm.
little fucking tab here on the
Hmm.
dark. And this is meant to protect the film because if you look on the back here, there's a big notch. And
Okay.
if you shone direct light in there, it could seep in and potentially like write on it.
Oh.
So this little tab is designed to go in there and cover that up.
Is that where when it ejects, it like something pushes forward and that's how it ejects out in that
Yeah,
little
so this
slot?
this this little slot is where the pickup arm comes in and
Got
it
it.
grabs the frame. And
Hmm.
so the pickup arm doesn't move very far. Like this is the total length of how the pickup arm
Right.
moves.
Right.
Because
Right.
all the pickup arm does is feed the film into the rollers, and then once the rollers grab the film, the
Right.
rollers eject the film out.
Yeah.
But this little fucking tab here has duped me so many times because if it doesn't sit in right, the
Okay.
pickup arm can't grab the tab.
Right.
And
Okay.
so like
Okay.
I've repackaged these things and had it not work because of this little fucking piece of plastic. So when you're moving everything over and putting the dark slide in inside the
Mm-hmm.
dark bag, just rip the little fucking tab off before
Oh,
you put it in. Because it's
okay.
just a little piece of plastic that's like glued onto it. But rip this tab off because it'll save you a shit ton of headaches later when you're trying to figure out, like, why is this not working? And then once you get the film out, there's also a little bit of like dark material on the front
Mm-hmm.
here, and
Yep.
this can sometimes get stuck inside. So just remember to sort of grab it and pull it out a bit so that it's just out like this.
Okay.
Um,
So it doesn't get
because
stuck while you're pushing the film in, right?
well, it will get stuck because like when you do shove the film in,
Uh-huh.
um, you do have to like so when
It's a
when you
little
put
bit
the
more
film
involved than
inside here,
loading 4x5.
yeah, it's a little bit like you do kind of have to like you end up sort of pushing it in sometimes when you're in the dark bag, you'll put that
Yeah.
material in. But you can usually just grab like a corner of it once it's out and pull it out and just make sure it's loose like that because then that'll
Okay.
make sure that it'll come out smoothly. Um, but just sort of be aware that like there isn't that sort of protective covering on this part here, so you want to keep this away from direct light once you've repackaged it because you
Okay.
don't want to hurt the film or anything. But I've repackaged I-type a ton this way, and
Okay.
I've never had a single issue with it. Like it's always worked
Yeah.
100% for other than that fucking dark slide thing, once I figured out to rip the tab off, I've had no
Uh-huh.
issues with it.
Okay.
You can usually get a couple of reloads out of these, like two or three, sometimes four, like reloads out of
Okay.
the battery in these. So it's not a bad trick,
It's not
and
just a hand warmer.
no, it's not just a hand warmer, and I I don't mind reloading it because I don't want to make my camera look ugly with a big external battery pack. Like the
Yeah.
SX70 is just such a sexy camera. Like I want to ruin its sleek lines, you know?
It's the whole point of, yeah, I didn't realize that that battery, that external battery, it makes sense, but I didn't realize that you had to sort of drill holes in the base of the camera to connect the battery in.
Yeah, so that's how it works is because the
Mm.
battery contacts where the actual because like
Right,
the cartridge sits like just like right like that.
right,
And so there's exposed contacts right here. So the idea is you can still use it with like the regular SX70 packs, and then there's
right.
like a battery pack that matches up with the things there. And I've also heard of people taking the batteries out of these and then just like shoving them underneath an SX70 pack.
Okay.
But I've kind of worried that it seems a little tight to do that, and I wouldn't want to like fuck up my camera trying to
Mm.
jam a bunch of stuff in
Yeah.
it. I mean, the dark bag thing, once you get used to it, it's not a terrible trick. Like you'll probably spend like 5 to 8 minutes doing it.
Okay.
Um, and like once you've done it a few times, it gets pretty easy. Like I can have a conversation with someone while I'm like moving things over. I just don't
Doing
like
that.
that. I've mentioned it before on other times where it's like I fucking hate dark bags because they give me wicked anxiety because like my hands start getting sweaty and weird inside of the bag, but the rest of my body is a nice cool temperature, so it like triggers me a bunch. It's completely
You're
irrational.
ready. You're ready. You're ready for whatever shit hits the fan.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just preparing
Um,
yourself.
exactly. Um,
Oh.
so thanks for coming to my TED Talk on repackaging iTunes.
Okay, no, I'll give that a try because it seems like most of the film that Polaroid's putting out right now is all I-type, which I mean, I it makes sense. They're making I-type cameras and they're like instant
Yeah.
labs and things, so they want to produce film that's used for those products. But I just
Yeah,
don't
so
know how to
like their
use
their focus does seem to be a lot of I-type.
it. Mm-hmm.
Um, because they need the money.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest about it. And like,
Yep.
selfishly, that's still a good thing for us. So like, we can complain and be like, oh, you're not making 600 film, and like, you're not making the cool stuff for our cameras, but they're still making film for our cameras. So like, that's something that we should still appreciate, is that like, these cameras that are decades old, we can still shoot them, and we may
Right.
not be getting the coolest, fanciest, neatest frames, but we can still consistently buy film for these like, ancient cameras. And so instead of complaining, I do my best to be mindful of that, being like, I'm glad that I can still shoot this. And I know I'm super annoyed with the I-Type 2, Brandy, but they need to push I-Type because they need to get people outside of just enthusiasts like us, that love this but aren't
Hmm.
like a big enough group to keep them alive. They need to get more consumers buying their products so that they can do the R&D to build new stuff. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they, um, once they start getting more market share and more people buying the I-type cameras, that they do start catering more to us. And I've heard some rumblings that they've been talking about a pro I-type camera that
Oh.
could have like glass lens and some like other
Oh.
shit in it,
Stop.
to sort of like shut us the fuck up like once they've like made some money there. So like that, I've heard some rumblings about that. It's nothing to be like, I don't think I'm breaching any NDAs with that because I didn't hear from Polaroid people. But it's cool
Yeah,
to
that's what
have that sort
Brandy's
of like
saying.
authentic
I'd rather
feeling.
spend more money on film than a new camera. I've spent a lot of
Well,
money
that
on my
that's fair. And
instant
like,
cameras.
you can still keep buying film. It's just you gotta do tricks like swapping the eye type around. And they're not going to get rid of SX70 anytime soon. I know everyone's a little worried about that because of the SX70 shortages, but that's just
Hmm.
because of COVID. It created some factory problems. Um, so, SX70 is not going anywhere, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And I think I remember seeing in Brian's fridge that they do have a healthy keep-in of SX70 film. So if you are in the Bay Area or Oakland, or hit them up on their website, you can get yourself some SX70 film. Stock up.
I
Um,
love you, Brandy.
I love Brandy too. It is the principle, but we still get to shoot it. So like, I mean, and I know that a ton of us are still salty about Spectra, and that's like, fair enough, RIP Spectra and all that. Um, yeah, exactly. Yeah, close the last time. But I really don't think that they would come at like the 600 market and the SX70 market, because like that's their
Pretty solid.
breadwinner.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like,
Yeah.
we're safe for a while. It just
Yeah.
means that we have to fuck around with like repackaging I-type or make our cameras look ugly with like the stupid thingies on them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
All right.
So
All right.
th-
I will try loading some iType. I think I still have some iType around somewhere. I should probably try and pull that out. I actually still have an Impossible Lab
I have one too, and
back
a,
in the.
a cat is giving me an iPhone 4 so I can finally use it, because like
Oh,
my
I have the
iPhone 8 is.
adapter. I don't know which iPhone it was for, but I have the adapter because I remember I needed to get an adapter back in the
Oh shit.
day.
Yeah, so
I
I
don't
have
know
the adapter
what's.
that lets, and apparently there was a pinhole option that you could get for the lab too.
There was a company who actually started to pump it out, Sense Six or something like that, that
Yeah.
created, and I actually had it for a little while, and it just,
Uh,
again, it just frustrated me beyond measure. But it was the same thing. You had the little bellows, and then you had the
yeah.
pinhole on it, and it would eject Polaroid film. I saw
And
some people who had a lot more patience than I do.
everyone's saying RIP Spectra, and like, much, much sad, much respect to Spectra. But we're coming up on the last 40 seconds. So I want to say thank you so much, Jana, for like joining
If
in.
you want this, I can send it to you because I don't think I'm going to be busting out the old
Sure,
Impossible
I,
Lab.
I, I will DM you about it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. We've got 20 seconds left here. I love you. I appreciate you.
Love
I
you
love everyone
too.
on the call. Thank you
I love
guys.
everyone on the call. Thanks so much. Thanks for
And then
having
next
me.
week we've got Jessica. She's going to be joining in from
Ooh,
Los
jet setter?
Angeles. Yeah, so we
Awesome.
had Jet Setter coming on. So thank you everyone for